how to get promoted from senior consultant to project manager. Hi, my name is Johannes Niari. I'm a project manager in strategy consulting, and on this channel I want to help you to learn the necessary skills that you need in order to succeed in consulting. And today I want to answer a question that people ask me a lot. How do I get promoted from senior consultant to project manager in consulting? And this is a very, very important question because there are only two promotions in your consulting career that really matter and that really change things. And the first promotion is a promotion to project manager, and the second is the one to a partner. And why is this the case? Because once you become a project manager, your task, your responsibilities, your standing within a firm and on a project completely changes. You see, as a consultant, you mainly work on the deliverables, so you do more operative work. But as a project manager, you have the overall responsibility of the project and to lead the project. And that's why it is so hard for so many people to get promoted to manager. And in this video, I want to share some steps that hopefully will help you to get promoted to manager. But before we start, let me share my own story of how I got promoted to project manager. I got promoted last year, so I'm a project manager for 1 year now in strategy consulting. And for me, it was a kind of tough journey. I got promoted very quickly to senior consultant, so I was on a promotion fast track. I made that in only 1.5 years, so this was quite fast, but I really struggled getting promoted to manager at first. The reason was that I was so focused on providing great deliverables and becoming efficient in Excel and PowerPoint and in problem solving and so on, that I forgot completely to work on one important side, and this was the leadership side and the relationship side. Because you see, as a project manager, it's not only important that you know how to solve problems and that you know all the consulting skills that you need as a senior consultant. You also need to develop some skills in terms of leadership, and that's certainly something that I lacked back then. And that's why the company said to me, Johannes, if you want to get promoted to project manager, you really need to work on these skills. And I took that by heart, and I really tried to learn about how I could develop my leadership skills. So I read countless books on leaderships, I took seminars, I did internal trainings, and really tried to improve that and made that my focus topic for about a half a year. And then the company fortunately recognized the progress that I made, and then finally I got promoted to project manager, and this completely changed the way how I work in consulting, and it changed more or less basically my life. And I'm very happy for that, because this role is very challenging. And what I want to do in this video is to share some thoughts on how to get promoted to manager. I have to say that I'm only manager for 1 year now, so I'm still in the progress of becoming a good project manager, hopefully. But I hope that I can share some learnings, and hopefully that will help you. So I want to go with you through 4 steps that, based on my opinion, help you to become promoted to project manager. So let's start directly with step number 1. And step number 1 is that you master the essential consulting skills. You see, before you get promoted to manager, of course, you are a senior consultant. And the main thing to understand is that before you're even considered to become a project manager, you really need to master the skills that you need on the senior consulting level. And there are always 2 skill buckets. The first one are the hard skills, so the basic consulting skills, the project delivery basically. And here we really talk about the basics, like being really good in Excel, being good in PowerPoint, knowing how to do project work, knowing how to solve problems, organization, communication, all of these kind of things. They are very important. Then the other hand is, of course, the personal fit, so that you are a great team player, that you get very good and get well along with your teammates, and that you are considered to be a great personality for the firm. So my recommendation is that before you even start thinking about becoming a project manager, that you take a step back and ask yourself, Do I have the skills already that it takes, or do I have outstanding skills on the senior consulting level? And my recommendation is always that from day one, where you become a senior consultant, that you really, really try to focus on getting great evaluations, getting outstanding evaluations, and making sure that you check this kind of as early as possible, so that you can say, okay, I really mastered all the consulting skills, all the basic consulting skills, and now I can focus on developing the leadership skills and the project manager skills that you need. And this directly guides me and leads me to step number 2. Step number 2 is that you show that you have project manager potential. You see, once you showed that you have all the skills and that you mastered all the skills on a senior consulting level, then it's time to show that you have also what it takes to become a project manager. And it's important to understand that you don't have to be a master in all of the project management skills that you need, but at least you should show that you have some potential there. And the best way to show that is that you figure out what kind of skills you need on a project manager level, and that you already kind of prove these skills while you are a senior consultant. And in my opinion, there are 3 main skills that you need on a project manager level. The first skill is that you become great in project management. So this means that you show that you are able to manage a team, that you are able to manage a larger stream, and that you are able to find a solution for business problems by yourself. This is skill set number 1. The second skill set is the sales. So that you show that you are able to build relationships with the client, that you can upsell as well on your project. And this is also very important. And this third skill set is leadership, so that you show that you are able to develop your team, that you can lift the performance of your teammates as well. And this is the leadership. So we have 3 skills. First is project management, second is sales, and third is leadership. And I think, typically at the end of a senior consulting level, you have the responsibility of larger streams where you already can show that you have these kind of skills. So typically, as a senior consultant, maybe you have the responsibility of an intern, and at the end of your senior consulting cycle, you maybe even have 1 or 2 teammates that you can guide to show that you have what it takes to become project manager. And this is the perfect setting to show that you can manage complex projects or streams, that you are able to do the upsell, so that the client says, okay, this person is so great, we want to continue working with him or her, and that you also show and prove your leadership skills as well. So my recommendation for you is that if you are at the end of your senior consulting career and frame, that you have, or if you have larger streams, that you really focus on proving and showing these project manager skills. Then step number 3 is that you also contribute to the company and do internal work. So what do I mean by that? As a project manager in consulting, you also are considered in a leadership position. So this means that you are also responsible for further developing your company. And this, of course, means that you don't only are engaged in external work, so project work for the client, but you also have to show that you can grow the company and that you can contribute to the development of the company as a whole. And what are typical tasks that you can do? So I think, first of all, you can work within your competence center and do really great work there. So most companies and most large consulting firms have competence centers, and there you really can add value by working on internal documents, by writing studies, and so on. Then the second option in most companies is that you support the hiring process. So either you take part in the interviews, or you try to activate your own network. Maybe you are an alumna or alumni from your own university, and you actively try to recruit people from your own network there. Also, you can do some social work. Most consulting companies also have some social work that they can do, or you bring in your own ideas. So I know many colleagues and friends of mine who have their own ideas, like improving social media the social media presence, like launching an internal initiative about sustainability or whatsoever. But the important thing here is that you find a topic where you can engage internally, so that you can prove and that you can show that you're also interested in bringing or pushing the company one step further. And that's what I also recommend. So start this as early as possible. So try to find internal topics where you can really engage and then actively make the contribution. And this is step number 3. Then let's go to the last step, and this is step number 4, and this means that you have to promote yourself. You see, in every consultancy, there are different promoting mechanisms, but in most cases, there are 3 main stakeholders that you need to convince. Then the first one is your project leader on your project, because this person is most likely responsible for doing your personal evaluations and your appraisals. Then also, second, you have the project partners. So very often you have, of course, the partners on your project, but also you have partners probably in your competence center, or with whom you work on an internal level as well. And then third, you have your mentor. So in most companies, you have a mentor as well, who kinds of is responsible, for pushing your promotion within the company. And my recommendation is that you identify these stakeholders and try to build deep relationships with them as early as possible. You see, the thing is that they need to make a point. They have a lot of influence within the company, and in order to get the promotion, you need some support from those people. And don't get me wrong, it's not about, just building a relationship for the sake of getting promoted. Of course, what you want to do is to create deep relationships so that that you have a kind of mentor relationship with each of them, so that you can show, or that if you have questions, that you can go to them and that you make them a part of your development process. This is very, very important. And it's also very important that you always back this up by outstanding results. So if you just have good relationships without providing the results, this doesn't work, because nobody wants to work with you. But it's very important that if you bring the work, that you also focus on top of that on building the relationship to these key stakeholders. So my recommendation is that as early as possible, you try to actively build relationship with these people, try to keep them in the loop about your personal development. And once you feel that you are ready for the step to be or to get promoted to project manager, that you actively try to contact them, talk about your achievements, and do a little bit of promotion. Again, very important. Don't be too pushy or too arrogant. Just be confident about your achievements and promote them. So that are, in my opinion, the 4 steps that you need to take in order to become project manager. So I think if you follow those steps, then it becomes very, very likely that you get actually promoted. But maybe a few closing remarks. So first of all, getting promoted to manager is one of the hardest promotions in consulting, because up until the project manager level, you only need the same skills. But once you become project manager, it becomes very difficult, because then you need a completely different skill set. And most people, really struggle with that promotion. So be aware that you have to change your skill set, but your mindset as well. This is also very important. As a project manager, you have to think differently than people do on a consulting level. So be prepared for that step, and don't be disappointed if it doesn't work the first time. So it took me, 2 times, or so 2 promotion rounds to get actually promoted to project manager, even though, I was on the fast track before. So for me and my ego, of course, this was difficult, but, believe me, at the, in the large scale and the large picture, it really doesn't matter if you get promoted 1 or 2 periods earlier or later. So just stay relaxed, work on your skills, really try to put in the work and show the results, and then it will work. If you want to focus on the development of your consulting skills, then please check out my free masterclass that I have for you. There you can especially focus on this step number 1, where you really learn the essential consulting skills. Also, if you have more questions about becoming project manager in consulting, then please leave it in the comments or write me on Instagram. And if you like the video, then please subscribe to this channel, keep a thumb up, and like this video. This will really help the algorithm to push this video. So with that being said, hope this brought value to you. Wish you a very successful day. Hope to talk to you soon. Goodbye, Johannes.